What's up, YouTube? This is NWO316 with another deck profile.
And bacon.
This deck, haha, bacon is good. There's no cops around.
Wait.
This deck is a Twilight deck made by my buddy Austin. Hi.
Stardust number 2. I have 2.
Give you a pile now.
It's a Twilight deck, and I'll let him tell you about it.
Well, to put it bluntly, I love Darkworld. And I will mix anything and everything with Darkworld, and I currently got my ass handed to me only God knows how many times by Lightsworn deck, so I figured, here's the idea, why not combine Darkworld with Lightsworn and make my own Twilight deck?
Does it work?
It's still in the working process, but I can get pretty decent hands.
Alright. So let's show the deck.
Alright. Well, we'll start out with the Darkworld side.
Well, how many cards in the deck first?
Well, after working on it, right now it's at 46. It can change.
46?
46. It varies. I don't know if I might add more, I might add less, but right now it's 46. So
right.
Starting out, we pack 2 golds. Lord of Darkworlds. They're mainly used for beat stick, like discard, special summon, not to mention discard special summon, and also if your opponent happens to be playing hand destruction, if their special summon do their effect, you can bomb 2 cards. Follow that up with 2 Silvas, also, tribute, beat sticks only, and they provide hand destruction, whereas gold would be field destruction.
Right.
Then we have 2 Bronze, Mad King of Darkworld. He's used to discard cards out of your hand, like to help special summon them, or he's also just a good dark monster to have when it comes to Darkworld. We have 2 Brow, Huntsman of Darkworld. They can be discarded by Brow's effect or by possible spell cards, and they're pretty much used as draw power.
Okay.
We have one of the bigger dark monsters, Dark Armed Dragon. We all know and love him.
Alright.
So
obvious reasons
he's good. Also, Darkworld is good because you discard them to the graveyard to help get the dark monsters in there for his ability and also for his removal. We have one Plague Spreader, because Plague Spreader is useful in this deck because you're either discarding with Darkworld or milling with Lightsworn, so he's a good tuner. One Necro Gardener, because once again,
obviously too broken not to play in this deck.
Sending cards to the graveyard, enough said. Send to the graveyard, remove, yada yada yada. One Chaos Sorcerer, because you're sending light and dark monsters to the graveyard. So in other words, things to help remove to special summon him. He can also remove 1 monster on the field from play, so he's pretty freaking good.
Again, too broken not to play in this deck. You are playing lights and darks.
Okay. We also have 1 Morphing Jar, which is a necessity if you're going to be playing any form of Darkworld, because A, he replenishes your hand, and Darkworld you usually find yourself losing hands, and he's just good in general.
And whatever golds and silvers you discard from the hand,
they get special summon.
They get special summon through his ability, so
he's useful.
Really, really fun.
Yes.
Say hi to the smiley jar.
Okay, moving on to the light monsters, we'll start out with 2 Raikou Lightsworn Hunters, because they mill, and you get to destroy at least 1 card on the field. Then we have 2 Wolves, because they're once again just like gold and silver, they're beat sticks. So, and you mill, they can get special summoned. Not to mention they're also, you need at least 4 in the graveyard for a certain special summon we'll show later. We have 2 Lilas. They're good because obviously Lightsworn for milling, and they also destroy spells and trap cards on the field. We have 1 Jane Lightsworn Paladin, who is pretty much just used as a beat stick to smack around anything that's strong that you don't like on the field. We have 1 Aaron, because get rid of those pesky defense monsters, and also a variety of Lightsworns.
Obviously, too broken not to play in a Lightsworn deck.
But really broken not to have a summoner, because summoner you can special summon any of the following that I had just shown you.
Yeah.
And of course, the bread and butter of Lightsworns, Big Daddy Judgment.
Judgment Dragon, fun card.
Yeah.
Really, really fun.
Pay 1,000, bomb the field, yada yada yada. 3,000 attack, not good. And of course, any lights. 2 Honest.
2 Honest.
Good for defensive purposes. That pretty much encompasses the monsters. Moving on to spell cards, we have 3 Darkworld Dealings. Good because obviously discard Darkworld monster, get their effect, or if by some chance you happen to have or if you need to get that extra Lightsworn in the graveyard, or if you have a wolf in your hand who is useless, discard him there. 1 Allure of Darkness, because obviously dark monsters, it's a good draw card. 2 Solar Recharges. good draw card for Lightsworn monsters. Just another reason why I wanted to combine them is because combining the draw power makes a really good engine. 1, Charge of the Light Brigade, adds any Lightsworn to the graveyard, adds more milling. Some staples, Mystical Space Typhoon, Spell and Trap Destruction, and Heavy Storm for Spell and Trap Destruction. 1 card destruction, adds for Dark World discarding or to get certain Lightsworns in the graveyard. 2 monster reincarnations, because unfortunately with all the milling and discarding, those either Dark Arm Dragon or Judgments or Chaos Sorcerer might end up in the graveyard, and you don't want that. So they
and
get
again,
them
too broken not to play in this deck.
Precisely. And this is a proxy. It says hand destruction, and proxying it for Foolish Burial, because obviously Foolish, you need that one last light or dark monster to get into the graveyard, or you could just use it for a wolf, because if you use Foolish Burial, the wolf gets special summoned right away.
Okay, note, people. This is not a hand destruction.
It's a Foolish Burial.
This is a Foolish Burial.
Go.
He's proxying it because he does not
Pay
have
no
the
attention
card.
to the man behind the screen. Now, here we have. Now for trap cards, we have 1 Solemn Judgment. Just in my opinion, you have to have at least one. It's a good staple per deck.
Look at this card. Look at him.
Frank, I will strangle you.
Yeah.
See the resemblance, people.
2 Dark Bribes, moving on. Good for
And
spells.
you can see the resemblance between the guy with the coin and me.
Good. 1 Call of the Haunted, good for special summoning. 1 Proxy Torrential Tribute. Note it says Torrential Tribute.
Please note the rodeo card behind it.
Shut up.
1 tribute.
Mirror Force, also proxied.
With rodeo behind it.
Keep in mind these are proxied because he has a complete other deck,
With
another
those
complete
cards.
deck with the other cards.
And the last card being
So
Beckoning Light, because he can just pick up any number of Lightsworns. Like discard. He's the best one, because if you have a handful of Darkwold monsters and Lightsworns in the graveyard, you can discard the Darkwold monsters to pick up Lightsworn monsters and then get the effects of said Darkwold monsters for discarding them. So very useful, and that pretty much encompasses.
5,000.
and what about the extra deck?
Oh, almost forgot about the extra deck. Sorry. Okay, I do pack Plague Spreader in here, and I don't find myself getting the extra deck off often, but it's useful in the off chance that you need it. So start out with the lesser monsters. I pack 1 Armory Arm. I pack him mostly because Morphing Jar is the weakest monster in my deck, and if I happen to have Plague Spreader there, and let's say a wolf in my hand, send wolf to the top of the deck. Bring out Plague Spreader, synchro for a slightly stronger monster.
Yeah, no.
I
The worst thing you
have
could have done
2
is
5-stars.
get Dandelion, but I would have just
1 Magical Android,
No.
because he's a good 5-star monster and helps you gain life
I was
points.
supposed
Yes.
to Pot of Adversaries.
Second one is Canister,
Cut.
good for any form of destruction, just in
Oh,
general.
God!
I was
Now,
supposed to
6-star monsters, we have 1 Flame Veil. Mostly I would just use him like I'd synchro to bring him out and then bring out Plague Spreader to be using for another one, but he's also good if you need a Piercer. 1 Baryonic, necessary,
Obviously, too broken not to play.
obviously. Goyo, necessary for almost any extra
Too
deck.
broken not to play.
1 Ancient Fairy Dragon, because it's just a 7-star tuner that you could possibly need.
You can see the defense, which you cannot.
It's
3,000 defense, so.
Like, most of the time I find myself with
the cards and everything. You can usually look it up. You want to zoom in on it.
And
pretty much get a gold out, have a Plague Spreader in the graveyard. You need defense, bring her out. 1, actually no, I don't need you anymore because I don't pack Gale, so 1 Black Rose Dragon, obviously good because it bombs the field. Now moving on to 8 stars, we have 1 Colossal Fighter, good for Resurrection, good beat stick. We have 2 Stardust Dragons, necessary for any extra deck. 1 Red Dragon Archfiend, good for plowing through monsters.
See that Morphin Jar?
also awesome with this current meta, with the way people are playing
Let's see that Morphin Jar.
the quick draw plants.
I get 2
Use
tokens.
him, clear the plants away. Good card. Fun.
1 Infinite Doom Dragon. In case you lose your hand, you bring him out. He acquires 1 Dark Tuner like Plague Spreader and just destroy 1 random monster on the field, and the opponent takes damage. And then last one is 100 Eyes Dragon. Him you'd bring out because obviously you're going to be using a significant amount of Dark World cards, which would be the Fiend cards that you would need for part of his thing. You can remove a Brow to gain his effect, or any other thing. I'm thinking of taking him out because I've just done some re-editing and I don't really need him, but everything else is definitely necessary.
Okay. And I will be putting the deck list in my in the details section. So if you didn't get what cards are in the deck, I will be putting him in there. And I will also be including the extra deck if he ever builds one in there. Okay, so signing off.
Sorry.